Alright, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, all that is true from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today I just want to go into the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And I'm just going to entitle this lesson, as the title says at the beginning of this particular verse, Perilous Times. Because that's the time that we're coming into, So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and I'm going to start at verse 15. And it says, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him Whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days should be shortened. Then, if any man shall say unto you," it's lucky, it's pretty much going into, the second coming of the Lord, but I'm still going to read this anyway. "Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is a Mashiach, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise many false anointed and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall see the very elect, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together." Yes, pretty much, the point I want to make is from verse 15 down to verse 21, perilous times, because that's the time that we're coming into, the time of Jacob's trouble. Now, this particular verses is, referring to when, we were chased out of, Jerusalem in 70 AD. This is pretty much what, Daniel was prophesying about, Jerusalem being, the Israelites being chased out of Jerusalem, by the Romans. It's like we know we had to flee our land because the Romans were coming to persecute us. So the Lord told us to flee into the mountains, He's pretty much prophesying, he wept because of, the things that were going to take place during that time and in this current time that we're living in, because, 70 AD pretty much is going to take place all over again, except, it's going to be worse. So, go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7, and it says, Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. That it is referring to the elect of the nation of Israel. Because going back, to verse 22, Matthew 24 and 22, and it says, And except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. So pretty much, a remnant, was left. The remnant is going to be saved, out of these perilous times that are coming upon the earth, because Esau Edom is pretty much running rampant all over the earth. He's destroying the earth, and if this man isn't taken out of power, no flesh is going to remain. So, the Lord has to come and save us. But the entire nation of Israel is going to be delivered. Only the elect of the nation of Israel will be delivered. This is the book of Luke, chapter 23. I'm going to start at 27. And this is, going into the crucifixion of our Lord. This is Luke 23 and 27. And it says, And there followed him a great company of people and of women, which also bewailed and lamented him. But Yahushua turning unto them said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and your children. Slakia, weep. I'm going to reread that. Slakia. But Yahushua turning unto them said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, the days are coming, in the which they shall say, Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bare, and the paps which never gave suck. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. Pretty much the Lord was telling them that, bad times were coming, he was telling them not to weep for him, because the Lord was going to go into the spirit world, and be glorified. But he was telling them to weep for themselves and for their children, pretty much, because, Jerusalem was going to be, taken over. It's going to be left desolate. And the same thing is going to happen in this current time that we're living here pretty soon. But it's going to be worse than that. Just like it says in Jeremiah, it's going to be, a time such as never been seen. Roughly paraphrasing, but it's like it's going to be great. It's, no day is going to be like it. It's going to be a very terrible time. And the Lord was pretty much letting them know that, pretty much that they were going to commit, cannibalism, because that's one thing that Israel had to do during that time. But pretty much he was saying that the women that never gave, birth to any children, they're better than the women that did, because they didn't have, pretty much because they didn't have to, worry about carrying around a child, pretty much that's why it said, woe unto them that give suck in those days. Woe unto the women that have children in these last days, because it's going to be a terrible time, because there's going to be a lot of death. A lot of women are going to be put to death. Men are going to, there are going to be a lot of men that are going to be put to death as well, but, mostly women of the nation of Israel, It's going to be, a very terrible time upon the earth, So that's pretty much it, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakodash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, where our land is true from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say Shalom.